What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a great weekend. We've got a nice cold and snowy Minnesota day here, but it's a great day to be indoors and to try some new stuff. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to do a review. This is the new Swallowtail SD brush from Gaahleri. I've been really looking forward to this brush. I want to still get the Swallowtail Barbados Rex version that is gravity fed, but this one here I've been waiting for siphon. I personally like siphon for certain things, and I like gravity for smaller detail stuff because then the jar is not in the way. But with modeling, I think the jar really doesn't per se get in the way as much as it would, say, inside of an RC body. On an RC body, you're inside of the body shape to paint it on the inside, and sometimes the jars can get in the way. But I still don't think that's going to be a real big issue for this brush with the modeling community, and we will definitely try this brush on some RC projects and see what we think. So let's flip this guy around and let's open the box. Alright, so there she is in all her glory. Like I said, this here is the Gaahleri Swallowtail SD, which is a side feed and a siphon feed. This is part of their Ace series brush. This brush is got a 0.28 needle and a 0.5 needle, and it has the fan cap for the 0.5, so you can run it with the standard cone in both the 2.8 and the 0.5 needle, but then you also get the fan cap, which you had to buy separately with the regular Swallowtail for your 0.5 needle. So that's really cool. So let's get into this guy. Again, typical Gaahleri fashion, you have the complete exploded view here with all the terminology, the names, where all the parts go in case you ever had to break the machine down or the airbrush down and do a deep clean, or if something was just not working, or if you had, say, a part that broke or something, just fluke happened, you're actually going to know what you're looking for if you go to Gaahleri site and get a spare part. Really cool that they do that. So let's get into this. Of course, we've got our instruction book, which this one's pretty thick, so they went into a lot more detail with this instructions here. So that's always good that they have some sort of communication that people can rely back on. Let's get that knife out of our way. Of course, typical Gaahleri fashion, you get a spare O-ring and some spare Teflon seals. Let's see here. Here is your cup. So the cup and the cap here, really cool. Now, this is something that I always look for in airbrushes, is the finish in there too, to see if there's any obstructions on how the paint's going to flow down the cup. Now with this one here, being it's 90 degree into the brush, Gaahleri has made that to where this thing unscrews. The elbow will unscrew from there, or they call it a cup adapter. Again, the machine work inside, let's see if you can see that, is got a really nice taper to the exit hole. So the paint is not like stopping, it's not deadheading on a flat surface, and that's really important. One thing that I guess I'm curious about, because this is a fairly large cup, this is 2/3 of an ounce, this cup here. I guess I would be kind of something that I think I'd like to try is to see if the smaller cups from the other airbrushes would fit this thread. My guess is there's probably a good chance that the thread is the same, so that you could run a smaller cup if you're not going to use a lot of paint for anything, and then you would have a little less top weight when it goes into the brush. The cap fits really good. Of course, this is the main reason that I wanted this brush, is the siphon feed and the jar. Again, real glass. I love glass better than plastic. You've got a nice metal lid versus plastic on a lot of my older competitors' brushes from the days of Pache and Badger. They all had a plastic cup with a little plastic nipple, if you would say, that would go into the brush. This here has a real nice formable hose to fit the jar, and all of this is nice metal. Now, yeah, the only thing that sucks with glass is if you drop it, it's probably going to break, but I can tell you right now it's very thick. But I like glass jars better as far as you ain't got to worry about any kind of chemicals having issues with the glass. So let's get the brush out here. Here is the brush. Oh, she's a beauty. Of course, they got the safety cap on there. Again, that is just a beautiful piece of work there. They do a really good job with their brushes, and the machining. The chrome finish on them is remarkable too. So here's a huge advantage to this brush. You have two sides. You can run it as a righty or a lefty. I myself like to shoot with my right hand, and I can honestly tell you that feature is going to be huge for me, because when it comes to running the jar, I probably will be running the jar on the left side, but when it comes to be running the gravity feed cup, I'm going to want that on my right side, just because then I can see my spray pattern and how my paint is coming up. If it doesn't look like it's a nice atomized paint, I get a better view of that, where if I had it up here, I'm going to get a huge block for the way I hold my brush. But I can honestly say that, let's take that plug out of there. If I'm going to run my siphon jar, I'm going to do it on this side, because now I'm going to know where I'm moving around in correlation to this jar. So if I needed to, say I was going to tip down, I can take a finger and move my jar out of the way and tip down easier, versus me having the jar over there. So very, very cool options with this brush. I'm digging that a ton. Now, the thing that made these Swallowtails so popular is when, for one, the trigger, the trigger style brush came from the GH80 68, which is an awesome brush. But this brush here, they, when they released the Swallowtails, they decided to come out with the fan cap, and very cool that they did. With the Swallowtails, you had to purchase the this fan cap separately. With this brush here, they're including the 0.5 fan cap as well with the brush. So definitely, this is what's going to end up going on this brush. But I'm very excited that. But they also gave you the nozzle cap here to run just the standard air cap with the 0.5 needle as well. So you have options there. Some people were concerned with some other ones where you had to run the fan cap with the larger needles. With Gaahleri, they've thought of it all, and they've gave you both. And now this here is going to be my 0.5 needle. Very cool. We're going to install that as well for what we're going to be spraying through here. We are definitely going to try the 0.5 needle as well. And then, of course, here is your 0.5 nozzle. And again, everything is in great protective tubes for everything. And, these boxes are really, really nice. I mean, you can put all your stuff in there, keep it nice. They put a lot of time and effort into their boxes as well. You got to admit that's really cool. So if you really take care of your equipment and your tools, they'll last you a long time, and you can then store them in here, and you got extra added protection when you're not in use with your equipment. So anyhow, we're going to, for what we've got in here for this needle, we're going to leave this 0.28 needle in here because I want to try that needle. I'm going to try this brush completely out of the box, and I'm going to show you that as well. So we're going to put the cup away. We're going to put the fan cap back in here as well, and we are going to put the 0.5 nozzle cap back as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up the jar here with some thinner. We're going to run some thinner through the brush first, so that way there we can take out any kind of oils or anything that could be either in the jar or in the passageway. We're going to give it a good cleaning. It could have some manufacturing oils, some shipping oils, whatever, and we are going to spray that, and then we're going to put some paint in this guy, and we're going to see how it works with the 0.2 needle right out of the box. So let me get this camera repositioned and we'll get you into the paint booth. Alright, we're back. We're at the booth here. As you can hear, we've got proper ventilation here. Let's set the brush down. We're going to open our jar. I've got some thinner here in this bottle. Kind of fill it up halfway. As you can see here, put the cap back on that. Put the cap on this. You do have a little air vent hole up here at the top. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right there. So I'm going to put my finger over that and put my finger over this, and I'm going to kind of shake this up a little bit to get the thinner around there in case there's some oils in there. I'm going to then install that into my gun, and then let's grab our air feed here and chuck that in. We can do a little test, and boom boom, she's good to go. So I generally don't like spraying my thinner into my filter and towards the fan. So I have one of these little tubes, so we're basically pulling all the fumes away, but we're gonna suck all this thinner through the brush and put it into this jar so that we can dispose of it properly. I'm gonna kind of work the trigger just to kind of make sure that I'm getting thinner across the whole needle. And we're gonna pump all that thinner through the brush, just to ensure that we get all the manufacturing oils out of the brush. We're getting all the rest of it out. So we're gonna pull that back out. I'm just gonna clean it out. It's all air. Feels really good. I'm really digging how the throttle control, you can kind of open the air before you even pull back the needle on the paint. Really, really nice. Let's set this jar down. We're gonna unchuck our brush. We'll set that down there. And it pulled everything out of the jar. I mean, it's good to go. I'm very, very pleased with that, how that all worked out. So let's get some paint. I didn't bring the color I wanted to use, so I'm gonna pause this camera and we'll get some paint. All right, so we're gonna do some primer here. I got a couple wheels that I want to get done. So this here is ready to go primer. This is from scalefinishes.com. So we're gonna take our pipette. This is kind of the cleanest way to do this. I'm gonna put a little bit more than that in there. We just got a couple little parts here. We can always add more paint into the jar. Let's put our cap on here. Let's get this guy out of the way. Let's put our jar into the side of our gun. We're pretty much ready to go. Let's move our holding tool out of the way. Let's get this on the other side of me here. We've got our air hooked up, and we see, I love that about the airbrush. You can, just like a full-size automotive gun, you can get some air out. You could dust off your body, whatever. and then as you pull the trigger, you get into your paint, which is really, really cool. So again, this is primer, siphon feed, the .28 needle. We've got some resin wheels that I printed. They're steel wheels. They're going to be body color to the car that we're doing. So I need to get some primer in there. As you can see here, you got some depth on the one. So I got a rear and a front. And that's why I wanted to do this with the 2/8 needle. Because you don't want to cake it up in there. You don't want to lose your detail. So we're going to make some nice little passes here. Man, the atomization is just beautiful. Lays this stuff down really nice and thin. Wow. And this is the .28 needle, everybody. Works really good. And I'm not even going wide open with the trigger. This is probably one of the nicest siphon brushes that I think, as far as paint response, has been. Some of the other airbrushes that are siphon, of course they're button top, but you're pretty much all in with the trigger right out of the gate, just to get paint to come out of them. Wow. Totally impressed. It's just really flowing nice, all the way down the depth of the wheel there too. I don't know if you can see that. I think I need to, but as you can see here, the coverage on these wheels is remarkable. It went all the way down into the grooves with just some simple overpasses. Like I see, the atomization that's coming out of there between the air pressure and the paint is remarkable. I'm really, really happy with this brush. And like I say, it's when you got the paint on that thin like that too, it's not going to take very long for that to dry, and then you can pretty much then go right into your base color. All right, I went ahead and I decided to do the other two wheels here on camera. Use up the paint here that's in the jar. Again, my God, I am really, I mean, it's laying it down so flat. It just truly is remarkable what this brush is doing. Wow. I'm very impressed with two things. Again, you know, I'm very impressed with this paint. Jameson has really done a great job with the product, but also, it's noisy here, but you can see how lovely that flat gray is in there, and it's to the shape of the wheels. It's not caked in there or nothing. Just, the brush does a really good job. I'm definitely in love with that. I can tell you that right now. When something like that works that smooth right out of the box, this is right out of the box. Generally, a lot of times you gotta kind of mess around with some stuff, but you've seen it here. We just took it right out of the box. We ran some thinner through it. We applied some paint to our jar, and we are good to go. So, yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. So, the review, this brush is dynamic. I love it. Definitely, probably will end up buying another, and that way there I have two. I think the way that brush acts, it might even be a possible candidate to have three, one for clear. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since I've got paint in there, I'm going to flush out that needle. I'll put the cup in there, put thinner through it, flush it out, and then I think I'm going to change over to the fan cap and the 0.5 needle and see what this paint does with that. So, thanks again, everybody, for watching this unboxing video and test review on the Gaahleri Swallowtail SD. I know these videos are usually a little bit longer, but I wanted to show that this siphon side of this brush works just as well as a gravity feed. There's a lot of benefits to a siphon system. So especially with any kind of heavier primers or even metallics and stuff, I'm a believer that the metallics get pulled up through the siphon tube more evenly than sitting in a gravity type cap. That's just my opinion, because as you could be moving around in there, the jar, the metallics are constantly moving, and then as it's pulling it from the jar, it's more even. That's why a lot of the real older veteran airbrushers preferred the Pache, which was siphon fed, because they felt they had a better consistency on the metallic paints. So anyhow, I'm in love with this. Sorry for the editing, because I'm going to chop some of the stuff out because the video is extremely long. So I'm going to try and do my best to edit. I'm no Bruce, that's for sure. But every day is a learning thing, and I'm in definite love with this brush. I probably will do some more tutorial on spraying, especially with the Mobius brushes too. I want to show you how much those brushes work really well in this scenario as well. So especially the SP brush. So I'm going to chop this thing up a little bit. Again, go over there, get you one of these brushes, or any of their brushes for that matter. I have the 39, the 68, this Swallowtail SD, the 98, and the 2 Mobiuses, and I love all of them. They haven't produced a brush yet that I haven't liked, and that's very hard for me to say at times, because with everything, there's things that when I don't like it, I definitely will tell you I don't like it. So this one here is a win. I'm in love with this brush. Like I said, I want more. So see you on the next one, and have a good day, everybody.